Hi Wildings, welcome back to the Wilding Tarot YouTube channel, and thank you so much for supporting me on this channel by watching ads. I really appreciate it. It is by far the easiest way to support me and the other creators delivering free and accessible tarot readings online. If you would like a private reading, I do currently have bookings open, so you can use the link in the description box below if you do want a personalized reading. It is the age of Aquarius and general tarot readings are just getting more and more accurate, but of course, because there is mixed energies in every general reading, it does make it a little bit less nuanced for you and your particular situation. So if there's anything that you ever need a little bit more specifically, that link is always there for you to reach out at any point if you do want a private reading. As far as our reading today, I didn't really have a plan when I started recording, to be honest. I just received some decks in the mail today that I'd been waiting on for like a year because the USPS, the US Postal Service, was not really shipping to Australia in the last year of COVID. And so there was just like this huge pile up, and it took, basically 12 months for me to get some of these channeled messages oracles that I'm going to be using in our reading today. So it was kind of me just like kind of figuring out how to use them in a reading practically. If you do have any feedback or comments or anything that you'd like to see, do leave it below. I don't often get general tarot readings online on YouTube, so I don't really know how other people are using them. So if you have any preferences, feel free to leave them below. It does turn out that the reading was pretty fun. I have my own kind of like little channeled messages slip, so I just basically used the cards as if I was using my own little slips. It was super fun. I do have to warn you that the sun was setting at the point that I was recording it though. It is super hot here in Australia, in Melbourne at the moment. We're about to experience an even hotter heat wave. So it is a little bit too hot to be recording during the day, especially under all of my lights and my candles. I definitely recorded much later in the day than I kind of would have liked, so the light was definitely disappearing. So especially pile 3, you'll have a lot of kind of dark ambiance. You can probably hear all the like frogs and crickets and nightlife around me while I'm recording this voiceover as I'm kind of like doing some nighttime editing. It's pretty late here. It's definitely too hot during the day to record at the moment. It's much better to record at night or like as close to nightfall as possible when it's a little bit cooler and I can actually stand having all my lights on. I think that's all the disclaimers I have for you today. I'm going to explain how to get the best reading out of today's video in a moment when we open properly. And it looks like we're about ready to do that. So let's get into today's video. Okay, Wildings, let's get into today's video. So instead of choosing a pile based on kind of a crystal and energy, I am going to tell you what each of these decks, the kind of cards that are in them for you to choose from today, so that you can intuitively pick a pile based on kind of the general energy of the deck and kind of the messages that you might want to hear today. It's definitely not going to be kind of a traditional just choose a crystal kind of blind one. It's going to be more of a choose a pile from a place of like actually checking in and knowing what you need to hear today, and then maybe skipping what you don't. So we have this messages of love oracle cards. So these are probably the kind of like softest, most gentle, kind of easiest cards to listen to today if you are feeling a little bit on edge, or maybe like you think you might possibly be triggered in some way at some point. If you're looking for kind of maybe softer messages, maybe messages more to do with like a crush or like a more kind of simple relationship or something like that, like this might be the pile for you. We also have 2 Hidden Truth Oracles. This one's version 2, which to me gives more of a kind of twin flame or very intentional divine counterpart connection energy. And then we have the original Hidden Truth Oracle, and this is definitely a bit of a mix. Like there's definitely some twin flame-ish kind of cards in there. I would say overall, like to me it feels more of like a soulmate deck. And this usually resonates when you have a bit of a complicated connection with someone, definitely some kind of ups and downs. So if you've been in connection with someone for a while, if there has been some ups and downs, this deck might resonate. I would say this deck is, mostly loving, mostly soft. These 2 are very mixed though, so there will be some kind of like harder cards and easier cards to listen to, so just make sure you're ready for that with these 2 decks. For the purpose of today's reading, we will be doing mostly channeled messages cards, so just mostly specifically what your person wants to tell you, like outright. And we will just use 2 of my other decks to kind of like clarify the energies of like maybe who this person might be, and maybe just like any last words we'll use the tarot for, or like any higher meanings or lessons or purpose, or anything kind of more so from spirit than your person, we'll use the tarot deck for at the end, towards the end of each reading. But yeah, it'll mostly be a channeled messages reading today. I do have this In the Shadows Oracle card deck too, so these are all really challenging messages, I would say, or just like stuff that's kind of in the deep dark unconscious of whatever person you're getting channeled messages from today. So if this feels a little bit uncomfy, I will be pulling cards for each pile with this deck today, so feel free to skip it if that's kind of not for you. But yeah, you will have kind of the option to skip from this deck and get most of your messages from these cards here. Is there anything else I need to talk about quickly while we're here? I don't think so. I am just gonna, while I was shuffling the cards, I asked Spirit to flip 1 card for me from each pile to kind of give a kind of like bird's eye view, or like kind of a higher message, or just like something if anyone's not sure which pile to choose, like giving you a like kind of sample card to kind of find your place. So that is this first card. I've like turned it over for the purposes of anyone wanting to choose without like having that kind of interference. So yeah, if you want to choose based on no interference, like pause the video, choose now. But if you do need a little bit of extra something, I'm just going to show you which card Spirit turned over for each pile so that you can read them. And yeah, if you're still not sure which pile to choose, hopefully that first message will help you. So while I was shuffling, the card that came out for the first pile 1 is Patience, Everything Will Unfold in Divine Timing. Then the card that came out for this version 2 pile was I Can't Get Enough of You. And then this last one, pile 3, the card that came out was Just Being Near You is Intoxicating. So they're the cards that Spirit gave me in terms of like, this is the general kind of energy. If like you need a little bit more direction into one of the piles, you can definitely choose based on one of those messages, whatever it feels like it definitely came from your person. Remembering that you might be drawn to more than one pile, like there might be messages for you from like 2 or 3 of the piles, like sometimes that's just how it goes. And yeah, if you get to a pile and it doesn't kind of vibe, you feel like the energy's a little bit off, you can always come back and try again. But I'm just going to leave you with a little freeze frame to give you a little bit more time to choose before we get into the reading. But if you know where you're going, you can head to either pile 1, 2 or 3, and wherever you end up, I will see you there in a moment. Hey there, pile one, welcome to your reading. So if you chose this first pile, the card that Spirit showed me while I was shuffling that kind of represents this pile is patience. Everything will unfold in divine timing. But before we get into more channeled messages from this oracle for you, we're just going to use our astrology deck to clarify some of the energies here. Just take this off to the side so there's enough room. Spirit, could we please have some energies that are relevant, either about either person or about this reading, please? So part one, the person who wants to communicate to you is maybe either an Aries or Cancer sign, maybe a sun sign, or they might have some Aries and Cancer placements, maybe on either their IC or in their big six. This person probably has history with you or rubs up against you in a very kind of mirroring way with this provoker energy coming out. You might have met in some sort of community setting, whether that's in like some sort of like group or friendship group or like a workplace or something like that. It's likely that the two of you or this person have strong air and or water energy. It might be one of you has one of you has the other. This air energy has a lot to do with thinking, communication. Usually it's someone who's fairly objective and intelligent, more to do with like kind of regular intelligence, whereas this is kind of more emotional intelligence. This is someone who's more sensitive, loving, compassionate, maybe empathetic, supportive kind of energies. This person either sees you as a maternal figure or might be a maternal figure themselves with this fourth house Cancer energy coming out. The fourth house usually has a lot to do with maternal figures as well as kind of comfort, security, safety. It's a very like feminine house, whereas the 10th house is kind of more masculine. So yeah, either this person sees you as this fourth house Cancer energy, or they might be this fourth house Cancer energy. Yeah, it's likely that this person's fairly social and extroverted. They might have a little bit of an Aquarian flavor to them, and or a bit of a Scorpio kind of flavor to them as well, with this Pluto energy coming out, which rules or co-rules the 8th house in Scorpio with Mars. This connection's likely kind of aggravated the two of you and caused you both to up level a lot. And probably do a lot of healing. Maybe some things to do with like kind of finding your light and finding like kind of really who you are and what makes you shine, but also figuring out maybe the ego side of yourself and how that side of you maybe interferes with your life in some way. This person might be quite entrepreneurial, maybe they are kind of a bit of a motivated go-getter, likes to kind of go out and get things done, or this could be your energy if they're more of this Cancer energy, or maybe they have like this kind of unique like balance between the two. But yeah, I'd say that's pretty much all of the energies here. So if this is resonating, then it means this reading is for you. If it's not, you can always go back to the start and try again. Find a new pile. But we'll get some messages for you. Okay, could you please have messages for pile 1, please? Okay, so for you guys, what we have in terms of channeled messages from this person is intuition. You already know the answer you seek. Soulmate, your soulmate loves, accepts, and respects you unconditionally. Mastery, you've learned the spiritual lesson. Patience, everything will unfold in divine timing. Boundaries, firm boundaries are needed now. True love, this is an emotional, physical. This love is emotional, physical, and unconditional. Spiritual lesson, this person is in your life to teach you a spiritual lesson and try something you've never done before. So this is what your person wishes they could communicate to you at the time. I feel like these are all fairly self-explanatory to begin with, and obviously if there's any kind of intuitive extra little messages for you, your person trusts that you'll be able to find them in this spread. But we'll just get a couple of tarot cards. Okay, so the tarot cards that we have for you is Magician in reverse, Nine of Pentacles, Three of Wands, and Judgment energy. So this Judgment card, this has a lot of Pluto energy before it. Pluto rules the Judgment card. It basically consumes anything that's not aligned with love, and destroys anything that's not aligned with love to make room for more aligned, more loving things in your life. This Three of Wands is a heavy travel work and teamwork card. It's a Mars in Capricorn energy, and it usually refers to figuring out how to work with people in a way that's not overly critical or controlling. So it's kind of like a collaborative. Oh no, this isn't. I'm thinking of Three of Pentacles instead of Three of Wands. I don't know why I did that. This is an Aries Sun energy, and this is about equal giving and receiving love, encouragement, and leadership, and trusting yourself to follow your own lead. So we've got kind of like double Aries energy. I think I was like looking at this Pentacles and then looking at this Three and like mishing them together. Perhaps that Three of Pentacles card is relevant for you too. This Nine of Pentacles energy, this is a Venus in Virgo energy, and upright, it's about acting like you deserve the best in life, pampering the self, especially the physical body, but also like the other bodies as well, and healing from family curses or like trauma, toxic patterns, which is very much this fourth house Cancer energy. So it's likely that the two of you have been doing this in this connection, healing family kind of trauma, family wounds, and trying to find this like belief in you actually deserving the things that you want, essentially, especially with this Judgment card coming out as well. Yeah, you guys have been breaking the generational curses to try and find that place of feeling like worthy, feeling deserving. And the two of you as well have probably been doing a lot of work trying to become more present, and more maybe more communicative. Mercury rules the Magician card, so the Magician upright is about someone who really treats their body like a temple, their mind like a temple, other people like kind of God. They're really present, aware, and very mindful with their energy and attention, and they use their attention to kind of direct energy in order to manifest really intentionally. So these two energies coming out in reverse, I would say these are the energies that the two of you have been trying to transform, to heal in your time, whether that's together or apart, or you know, whatever your situation may be. And then we also have Three of Wands energy, which is about figuring out how to be a better teammate. So I'd say that's probably where the two of you are kind of directing your focus and energy, and this is kind of what you're healing in the process. So by directing your energy towards kind of teamwork, and then like destroying anything that's misaligned, like this is what you're healing. You're healing your own like godlike attention, your own ability to be an alchemist, and your feeling of worthiness for kind of the life that you deserve. So I am just going to now flip just a couple of these in the shadows oracle cards. These are usually quite heavy. You can feel free to skip these. This is probably only going to be relevant for people whose person is maybe a bit, I don't know, like maybe not in the best place. Like if you feel like your person's very healed and whole and complete and all that sort of stuff, maybe skip this and go straight to the affirmation at the very end. But if you want to know anything that this person has going on in the shadows, like anything that they, it might not even be true, it's just something that they're maybe thinking, maybe like a kind of any negative self-talk or anything like that, then stay for this. But just be mindful. You've been warned. Okay, so the first shadow message is what did you want from me? Okay, so this person's definitely questioning some things in their 3D self, in terms of like wanting to know what you wanted from them. Maybe they think have an underlying fear that you had ulterior motives. Okay, so the next one is, I know we have a soul connection. We have one more shadow energy, please. So even their 3D self must be admitting this. Okay, I hope you're happy. Okay, that's not as deep and dark and scary as I thought it was going to be be honest. But yeah, there's some messages from the person's more 3D self right now. Can we get a last affirmation for pile 1 to finish off, please? Okay, so we have, I allow transformation and I flow with each phase. So I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory. The two of you are probably in a transformation, flow, kind of growth kind of phase of your life that's you're both kind of leaning into at this time. But I think I'm going to leave that here. I hope you got everything that you really wanted and needed out of this reading today. I hope it entertained you at the very least. I would love if you could like, comment and subscribe and stick around for more intuitive tarot card readings like this. Let me know if you want to do more channeled messages, oracles on my feed, and I will definitely do that. But until I see you again, ciao. Hey there, pal 2, welcome to your reading. So while I was shuffling these cards, the card that Spirit wanted to kind of bring forward first is this I can't get enough of you energy. This is the main message that Spirit wants you to take away from this reading. But before we get into finding out what the rest of our channeled messages are today from this deck, we are just going to clarify some of the energies of this reading using this astrology deck. So these can be energies that are kind of coming up for you guys now, or these energies might be referring to who this person is that has communication for you, so you can get like a bit of a confirmation of who this might be that wants to communicate these messages. Especially because sometimes like we come here for messages from a specific person, but there's actually someone else who wants to tell us something. This might just help with that. Do we have any more energies, please? Okay, so the person who wants to communicate something to you is either a Scorpio, Aries, Capricorn, Pisces kind of energy, or they have some of those placements in their chart, or they have those kind of energies as kind of part of their personality. So Scorpio deals with property, assets, transformations, especially beginnings and endings, desire. It's a very heavy Mars and Pluto energy, so it's got a lot of this like passion, fire, drive, as well as kind of deep desire to move towards unconditional love in some way. Aries is more of a kind of starter energy. It's also very motivated because it's also ruled by Mars, so this person might have heavy Mars energy. It might be one of their dominant placements in their chart. And Aries is like very entrepreneurial. It's the start of the zodiac, so it's really good at kicking things off. It's obviously a cardinal fire sign. Pisces is the last energy of the zodiac, so this is kind of the closing energy, and it usually deals with things in the collective unconscious, especially healing those things, having those things brought to light, and healing them so that you can manifest kind of a different version of reality than what your ancestors were able to manifest in the past. So for example, like being able to heal things like poverty consciousness, so you can have more of those things in your life than your ancestors. And then Capricorn, this is very 10th house, public image, career kind of energy. Capricorns really are hardworking. They like to kind of get things done. They're not super into the kind of glitz and glam of it. They're more into like having a public image based on kind of integrity, honor, and all of those kind of values, I would say. It's a very earthy sign, and I find that earth signs do care a lot about values and like lifestyle and definitely quality of life. This connection might be some sort of separation connection with this void of course of moon, or like this, because the void of course of moon also refers to, depending on how it's used astrologically, as a period where the moon's not making any aspects to anything. It might be that this connection's gone through a bit of a dead phase, as well as this separation, or as alternatively to this separation, like potentially not a lot has happened for some time for some reason. But yeah, there's probably a lot of potential in this connection for a really beautiful partnership. Definitely a lot of blessings, definitely being kind of good to each other with this 7th house energy. This person's probably also very mature, very responsible. Saturn rules Capricorn, so there's a fair bit of Capricornish kind of energy here. When the Saturn return card comes out, I often also use it as a sign that potentially someone might be a little bit older than someone else. Like there might be a bit of an age gap in some way. Or the one or both of you might be going through your Saturn return, or just like finding that you're kind of up leveling and maturing a lot in your life right now. Also 4th house and Neptune energy. So Neptune modernly rules Pisces. It's all about like kind of dreaminess, and like believing in the divine, believing in the impossible, in its like light side, but in its dark side it's also about kind of the illusions from the unconscious or the collective unconscious, or delusions, like things that we've kind of picked up that might be false. So this person might be like kind of dreamy, dreamboat, like they're my person energy, or this person might be like breaking some kind of generational curses, I would say, generational trauma in some way, especially with this 4th house of the home coming out. A lot of our generational kind of trauma and wounds sit in this house, especially ones to do with the maternal line or mummy issues in any way. Yeah, the 4th house of the home has a lot to do with that kind of energy. But if that is all resonating and all making sense, we're going to find out exactly what it is that this person or this energy wants to communicate to you using our channeled messages oracle. So we're just going to shuffle these. Whoop, and see what they have to say. We have more messages, more communication from this person, please. What else does this person want to communicate? These cards are like super slippery, so my Virgo rising heart is not enjoying how they're kind of coming out, but we'll go with it. Okay, so the messages for you today are: I want you so badly, I have trouble with intimacy, I miss seeing you, I can't get enough of you, I compare others to you, I saved your texts and messages, I have too much to lose, I miss hearing your voice, and I won't let you down. So next I'm going to see if there's any messages from the shadow from this person using this In the Shadows oracle. Feel free to skip this if this feels a little bit heavy. These messages can be from a person's 3D self, definitely from their ego, definitely from kind of wounded places in themselves. Like if you want to know what kind of is coming up for this person in more of like a wounded 3-dimensional way and less a kind of 5D kind of higher self kind of way, which I would say is more these energies, yeah, then skip this, go straight to the end, the affirmation part. But yeah, if you want to know what's going on for this person more 3-dimensionally, so the cards we have is I know more than you think. In that moment, I didn't care, and sometimes I hear your voice. So yeah, there's probably, this person's probably keeping tabs on you more than you think. And yeah, probably in the past, you guys have some sort of history where they were like triggered in some way and honestly didn't care about your feelings in that moment because they were coming from a very triggered place. And then we also have sometimes a hear your voice. So it's likely that this person like imagines talking to you or like replays conversations with you in their head. Can we get a last affirmation for this pile, please? You guys would have seen the light kind of disappear from this reading because I'm doing this right at sunset. So it's really beautiful, but yeah, you guys might not be able to see the best. So the affirmation I have for you is, I trust the divine guidance of my inner wisdom. All the answers exist within. So yeah, if there's still questions that you have within after this reading, like go within, because the answers are also probably with your questions. But I think I'm going to leave that there. I hope you got everything out of this reading that you really wanted and needed. It's been a pleasure reading for you. My name's Jade, Rewilding, and I would love if you could like, comment, and subscribe so that I can see you again for another intuitive tarot card reading very soon. I would especially love to know if you liked me doing these channeled messages for you, if you appreciated them. Yeah, I think that's all. I will see you again in my next video, or very, very soon. Ciao. Hey there, Part 3. Welcome to your reading. I know the light has very suddenly disappeared. I started this reading a little bit closer to sunset than I'd planned because it is super hot here at the moment. So I've been recording much later in the day when it's a little bit cooler. But hopefully the vibes will be nice for you guys and you'll kind of be able to enjoy it. Enjoy the ambiance of the slowly darkening room. But your message while I was shuffling these cards was just being near you is intoxicating. This is the main message that Spirit wants you to take away from this reading at the moment. But before we get some more channeled messages from this deck for you guys, we're just going to use our astrology deck just to clarify any more relevant energies, especially to do with who this person who wants to communicate might be, so that you can take it as either confirmation or maybe if you were expecting someone in particular to communicate to you, you can just know who that person who's communicating is by these cards. Because yeah, sometimes we want to hear messages from a certain person but someone else actually has something to say. Or you can also just take these energies as things that are kind of like relevant for you guys in the present. Just whatever feels right. Just going with your intuition, your gut. Do we have any more energies for pile 3, please? So this person who has something to communicate to you is probably someone from your past based on this South Node life steps energy. And this person might be someone that you either had a very explosive relationship with, or someone who's very unique or very different from other people that you've dated before in the past. Like there was some sort of je ne sais quoi, like definitely something different about this person that was like very kind of enchanting. This Uranus energy is heavy, kind of like Aquarian energy, so they're very kind of like mysterious and intriguing. We also have some Capricorn, Pisces and Libra energy, so this might be their sun sign, especially because this sun card came out, or it just might be dominant energies in their chart, or it might just be facets of their personality. They might care a lot about their public image, they might be quite hardworking, and they might be very into kind of the traditions of like marriage, commitment, and like the whole kind of process. They might be a good fit or a good balance for you in some way, and they might be a little bit either indecisive or just like really good at seeing alternative perspectives, like really sitting on the fence and like listening to all sides of a story. They might also be very spiritual. They might have a very kind of like law of attraction, manifesting kind of energy. They might believe in a lot of things, especially to do with spirituality. They might do a lot of work on their own unconscious as well as the collective unconscious, and kind of like freeing themselves from any shackles that those energies bring. They might be quite secure, stable, maybe set up well in life, especially kind of financially and in their lifestyle. And this person is probably quite clear on kind of what lights them up, and is a really kind of favorable part of their personality, as well as maybe also becoming aware more of their ego and how that maybe interferes with their path in any way. This person probably cares a lot about their physical body with this first house energy, or this might be kind of this Aries kind of twang to this person. They might like the gym, they might like also getting like kind of facials and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, this person might be very kind of witchy, mystical, magical with this Black Moon Lilith energy coming out. Or very intuitive, or like very creative, very aware of their own kind of unconscious and their egoic patterns. It's kind of like the main energies here. But yeah, if that resonates, we'll go ahead and get some channeled messages for you guys. Can we have some channeled messages, please, for pile 3? Okay, so for channeled messages for you guys, we have, I feel you leaving me behind. I wish things could be different. Finding out the truth crushed me. Just being near you is intoxicating. I hope that you can forgive me one day. I love you unconditionally. I bury myself in work to forget you. The timing just wasn't right for us. So this, I bury myself in work, is definitely this Capricornish energy. So yeah, if that Capricorn energy didn't resonate, like that's maybe why it came out. But yeah, it seems like this person definitely has a lot of love for you, definitely feels like you're leaving them behind, like you're maybe moving on and they're not in some way. They definitely, by the looks of it, they didn't feel ready, but by the cards that came out here, they've definitely been doing a lot of work and maybe like trying to uncover some things within themselves. Oh, I forgot to do my little disclaimer. So I'm going to pull some shadow oracles now. This is probably coming more from their 3D self, coming from more of a wounded, maybe inner child place. So if you feel like you don't want to hear these messages, just like feel free to like do the little YouTube skip thing. I will probably forget to do the timestamps. Like I'm just very aware that that's something that I'm likely to forget. So yeah, if you want to skip this next little bit and move straight to your kind of final affirmation to take away, then yeah, do that now, or forever hold your peace. But shadow messages that we have more from this person's 3D self is, thank you for leaving me. You can't come with me. You're so easy to see through. And I love myself enough to walk away. So potentially this person was super triggered by this relationship and knows that the two of you needed to part ways. This I love myself enough to walk away might be more to do with just walk away from the toxicity of the two of you together, like when you were together, maybe unconsciously, based on this karma, this South Node karma kind of energy. But yeah, it seems like this person wants to do some stuff alone, and they probably see a lot in you. They're probably seeing a lot of your shadow. I'm sensing this is more to do with their healing, especially to do with shadows that they may have experienced in their life previously from this South Node energy that they were also projecting onto you. And this also may be shadows from the collective unconscious and this kind of like Piscean kind of energy. So yeah, there's some sort of, this person definitely feels like they want to be on their own for a while and just like figure out some stuff. It seems like they still have some stuff to figure out for sure. But we'll get you a final little affirmation. Here for the final little affirmation for pile 3, please. Okay, so we have, I trust the divine guidance of my inner wisdom and all the answers lie within. So if any more questions have been raised in this reading, then this card is asking you to go within to find the answers. Like you probably are aware of the answers that exist within you. But I think I'm going to leave that there. I hope you got everything out of this reading that you really wanted and needed, or I hope it entertained you at the very least. Thanks so much for watching all the way through. My name's Jade Rewilding, and I would love if you could like, comment and subscribe, especially if you want me to do more of these channel messages oracles. This is the first time I've kind of done a video with them, so yeah, I'm still trying to figure out the best way to do it. So yeah, you can leave any feedback in the comment section. I do read them even if I don't respond to everyone. I just find that I'd rather make sure I have time to read all of them and just like take it on board, rather than being able to read and respond to some people and then not read other people's comments at all. But anyway, enough blabbing. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video.